This video is proudly sponsored by Newtype. Tools, accessories, model kits, these guys have it. Hop over to newtypeshq.com and use promo code Otaku for 10% off on your next purchase. Hey, what's going on my dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to another exciting build from the good folks from Eastern Models. So when do we get started with the 1/12 scale Megaman Zero from the popular game franchise Mega Man? And without further ado, let's get to it. Welcome back my dudes and dudettes to another unique build from the good folks from Eastern Models, and if this is your first time to this YouTube channel, welcome! So by the time this video airs, we're going to be getting ever so close to the next big Kotobukiya model kit lineup, and that is the Megaman X Zero model kit. Now you guys have pretty well know that I did tackle the Kotobukiya Megaman Zero from the Game Boy Advance games. That little guy was an absolute blast to build, did some custom painting and some light weathering, and then since there was enough cavity space inside the head, I then installed an LED light to give a nice custom flare. But the one thing that always bugged me, is there any other company out there that are willing to take on the license of a Mega Man model kit? And fortunate enough for me, thanks to you dudes and dudettes on Twitter and Instagram, I am going to be tackling the new and improved and heavily revitalized the Mega Man Zero model kit from Eastern Models. And this guy's box art is just incredible. I love the attention to detail. I love that it had a lot of great artistic freedom, definitely bringing Mega Man Zero to the modern age. So, as what you can expect from the first side of the box art, we're going to get a nice front and back side of Zero, while at the same time really implementing the nice feature of this model kit, which is the LED light gimmick for the Z Saber, Z Spear, and also the jewel for his forehead, as well as a unique action base, which is really unheard of for a Mega Man model kit. Now, the reason why I say that is because most of the big name companies will end up selling these action bases separately, so it's kind of cool that there's a company looking out for the average consumer. As for the other side of the box art, we're going to get a small glimpse of a handful of sticker decals, a small assortment of water slide decals for Mega Man's eyes, a small glimpse of what we can expect for the inner frame, 4 interchangeable face plates, a handful of effect parts, and the Z shield. So overall impressions, I'm very impressed with this model kit. Now to take a look what's inside the box. As always, you are happily greeted with the instruction manual, which I have to admit, this is really nice, very good quality, while the first page gives you a glimpse of what you can truly do for action poses. As for the next page, it gives you a small glimpse of what you truly can expect for these unique LED lights for the Z Sword and the Z Saber, followed by the very bottom page gives you a small glimpse of how to apply the water slide decals for Zero eyes, whether you have them looking left and right, up and down, close, you name it, you can do it. As for the second and the third page gives you a glimpse of what you expect for runners, and at the same time introducing to you 4 unique interchangeable faceplates. But probably by far the most amazing thing about this model kit, it has its own independent LED light unit for the head. That's absolutely remarkable what they were able to do with the engineering paralysis for this model kit. As for the next page, it gets very heavy in depth on how to construct this guy. It's very close to what you expect from a real grade model kit, which is very impressive for something around the price range of $100. And much like a real grade, this guy is going to be a nightmare because it has tons and tons of little pieces that you can easily lose when you're putting this guy together. So be mindful when you're putting together the arms, the legs, the weapon accessories, you name it. Those pieces are essential to complete this model kit. But one thing I love about this model kit, besides it comes with its own action base and LED light unit, it comes with its own specific adapter that you can plug into the back. So there's 2 little nubs that you can disconnect from the back, and then there's one main connector you plug into there so you can pull some nice aerodynamic poses. These guys really thought it through on what they really want to implement for this model kit, and I am very impressed with it. You can clearly see here by these really cool dynamic poses that you could never pull off with the Kotobukiya model kit. Overall impressions? Very cool model kit. So before we start delving into the really meat and potatoes of the runners, we need to evaluate the sticker decals for this model kit because these guys are kind of unique. They're pretty much designed for like small little tight areas for this model kit. So anything that has like a small square cutout, you put a foil sticker in there and you're good to go. Now these water slide decals for the eyes are by far the best quality I've seen from a model kit company like these guys. They are very well designed and very easy to put on. In fact, you know, it gives you the option to be very customizable on what you want Zero to look like. So I really do recommend that you guys give it a shot. As for the pre-posable hands, these are pretty good, pretty standard, nothing too crazy. But probably the most unique thing I love about this model kit is its LED light gimmick. And what I mean by that is it comes with like these 2 like fishing lure capsules for the Z Saber and the Z Spear, and then to round things up in a nice little bow, it comes with its own LED light unit for the head. Now, I've heard a lot of people when they bought this model kit, it comes with its own battery supplies, but mine's unfortunately didn't come without in it. I think it has something to do with the California laws when it comes to shipping model kits. Either way, do your due diligence and make sure you find what kind of batteries this guy takes. And if you can't find them, wait until the end of the video and I'll happily show you guys which one it takes. But overall impressions, very happy with the overall looks. As for the action base, this is really, really cool. Has a nice dynamic bright candy red with some like brown finishes to it. And behind that, you get the new unique faceplates, which I have to admit, they are very, very well sculpted and definitely a big step up from the Kotobukiya I built literally over a year ago. Next runners up, you're going to get a handful of bright red pieces followed by a unique assortment of gray pieces for the inner frame, purple pieces followed by more red pieces, and by far more white pieces for the main head, weapon accessories, holsters, you name it. This guy is packed to the brim with a good assortment of white pieces. Next one up is probably the most unique thing I love about this little gimmick here. I don't know why they include this, but I'm gonna take a look inside. Oh, would you look at that? It's a holographic card. I haven't seen these in the late 90s, man. I'm done. This is. Whew, sorry about that. It literally had a mental breakdown. So if my theory is correct, this is basically introducing to the fans that there is going to be a Mega Man version. Said it right there. There's going to be a Mega Man version coming out before the end of this year or leading into the first quarter of next year. Overall, I am very excited for this. I wanted to build a Mega Man Zero Game Boy Advance version for such a long time. I mean, you dudes, you got me. Just make this thing come out. Make it come out right now. I want it. Followed by the next runners, you're going to get a handful of more inner frame pieces, and probably by far the nicest thing I love about this model kit is its effect parts. You get everything to a nice swooshy motion with the Z sword. The shield effect looks really cool. You get the Z sword, you get the Z saber spear, more effect parts for the gun, and just overall, I'm very pleased with this. So before I get started constructing the inner frame, I need to take a step back and evaluate how I'm going to paint these armaments this time around. In my previous build, I gave these guys a nice classic traditional Tamiya flat red, which looked really nice, but this time around, I want to give them a nice little bit more metallic sheen to it. So much like how I did my red frame Perfect Grade a couple months ago, I'm going to give these guys the same kind of treatment to give it a nice metallic red look.
Get some rest. If I stay, I lose my breath. I'm going to find my space. We did it before. Now I'm up and down. When I just wanna stay high. We did it before. Now I'm up and down. When I just wanna space out.
So now that we're relatively done painting the red pieces, it's now to hit them up with a protective coat. I would highly recommend you use the Mr. Clear or semi-gloss sprays. They work really well, but make sure to apply at least 3 to 4 coats to protect them. Me personally, I'm going to be using my old-fashioned Pledge floor polish. Now, it works relatively the same way, but I want to have at least some control of it when I'm using my airbrush. So if you're using the airbrush for this method, make sure you set your PSI settings to 25 to 30. Anything lower will actually create weird dispersal sprays, and you don't want that for your airbrush. And when you do this method, make sure you do at least 3 to 4 coats in between 1 to 3 hours. If you do it correctly, you're going to get really good results. Alright, my dudes and dudettes, as this video is wrapping up, I want to share with you guys my thoughts and impressions about this model kit. So, I'm going to talk about the bads, and then I'll talk about the goods shortly after the end of the video. So, first the bads. Now, I need to give credit where credit's due. Easter Models did an incredible job when it came to putting an LED light inside the head. I did the exact same thing in my previous build, but I switched things up so that way there wouldn't be any issues. And my biggest issue is the LED compartment. Sure, it's small form, and it's very difficult to find exactly what kind of battery this guy takes because the model kit or the instructions does not give you any information on what batteries it takes. You need to talk to someone that has already previously made this kit, whether they're on YouTube or Instagram. There's so much of an Easter egg hunt, it is annoying, but I'm getting off on a tangent. My biggest problem with the LED light for the head is the placement. Now, when I constructed mine, I made sure that there was a switch behind the head, so that way I'd have to negate and deconstruct the head in a way where I can have to swap out the battery and then put the head back together without jeopardizing like my paint job and whatnot. This form factor does the exact same thing that I was afraid of. You have to take apart one section of the head, open up a hatch, and then flick a switch. If you can reach it with your small fingers, you have to use like a Q-tip or something close to something like a small piece of wood to hit the switch, and then you have to close it and then close everything up again. It's a bit of a headache. I kind of wish I went with our approach to do a custom job with this, but I really wanted to see what this company was really trying to do with this model kit. I'm not knocking it. I'm saying it's a small little gripe. Probably in their next build, they should really consider putting like a micro switch behind the head, you know? Give some flexibility to turn the guy on and off, especially if you're doing like a great series of poses for Instagram or doing like a YouTube video like what I'm doing. Another thing that's like a big issue with this model kit is the faceplates. They look really good, but I feel that there are some faceplates that are kind of lacking like the nice dynamic, you know, roar and if that makes any sense. They seem kind of more of a and more of a yeah. I hate that terminology, but just think about Power Rangers. But that's how I really thought when I look at these faceplates. They're lacking that punch, that oomph. And the Kotobukiya version actually does a way better job because they're actually following the actual video game aesthetic to it. So that's pretty much anything I can say negative about that. The last bit of negativity is the LED lights that come with this kit. They're not very bright. It is a great gimmick. It's a great little attention detail flare that they want to implement on this model kit. It's great, but the batteries last for almost about an hour. So if you're going to do some poses or make it look really cool, make sure you do it right there and there, because if not, the batteries are going to be done and over with. So be mindful when you're constructing this guy, because once those LED lights are burned out, that's pretty much it. They're very difficult to find. So there's a lot of negative things I said about this model kit. Are there any redeeming qualities? Oh my goodness, yes there is. The possibility of doing a lot of dynamic poses for this kit are endless. They are great. They're on a nice ball joint system around the wrist and the shoulder blades and then the waist. You can get tons of great dynamic poses that you would never expect for something like a Megaman model kit. And the added bonus, since it has its own independent inner frame, oh my goodness, that is such a great bonus, because you're not limited to what the designers had to work with. You're pretty much encouraged by what the designers were given to you to do something really neat and dynamic. It's very cool. On top of that, this kit gives you its own action base. You get a whole slew of weapon accessories. You get the LED kits, all under a nice little bow of $100. That's great. No, well, I mean, I imagine it's different depending on what region you live in. I got lucky where I found it under $100, but enough about the prices. This kit's great. Is it slightly better than the Kotobukiya kit? Yes, the Kotobukiya Zero has its weaknesses, and this definitely has its weakness too. But both of them are following their own unique artistic design, and I think that's very welcome to really separate the two. One's going for the video game, while this one's going for a nice modern flair. They're both great kits, and at the same time, they are both excellent builds to try out. Now, is this kit really worth the purchase? Oh, absolutely. It's great. I want these guys to do more Mega Man model kits down the road. I do know that they're making an X later on, either towards the beginning of next year. I know that there is an Iron Man model kit. Not sure I'll pick that up. I'm not much of a Marvel comics collector, more of a mecha guy. Yeah, this kit's great, guys. You will not be disappointed. I would highly recommend you check this kit out if you have the time. And like that, my dudes and dudettes, we have reached the end of this video. I want to take the time to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for the new subscribers. A big thank you for the Patreons that came in towards the beginning of the end of the month. And a big thank you for you guys that actually have liked and shared these videos in the last several months. You guys helped this channel grow tremendously. I'm just ever so grateful and ever so blessed you guys have done this for me. So until then, I will see you dudes and dudettes on the next video. Later.